ba yun?
Madam Chair,
Pinag-uusapan
Article 2,
yun. Dali
ng
lang,
impeachment complaint.
nagsasalita
Kindly
pa ako.
wait
Hindi pa
until he
naman, no?
finishes.
No. Binapaliwanag mo kung paano ginamit ang confidential fund. Hindi pa naman pinag-uusapan yan eh. Pangalawa, paliwanag. Dapat yan pinag-uusapan yan sa impeachment court. Hindi dito. Madam Chair, yun lang.
For the guidance of the Honorable Abante, there are allegations as to misuse of confidential fund in the office of the Department of Education with the Vice President as Secretary of Education. So, it is my humble submission that the manifestation of the Honorable Suntay is aligned to the deliberation on the second ground of the fourth impeachment complaint. The point of order is overruled.
Thank you very much, Madam
The Honorable
Chair.
Suntay may proceed.
Dagdagan Balita News Update.
The Constitution itself that has laid down that enumeration to establish the jurisdiction of the committee. Maraming salamat, Chair.
Thank you. That concludes our
Madam Chair.
deliberation on the
Madam
second
Chair.
round.
Hindi pa ako natawag.
The Honorable Suntay.
On the alleged misuse of confidential funds, ginagamit ito ng complainant para ipakita na may misuse o malversation ng confidential funds. Pero mahalagang tandaan na ang paggamit ng confidential funds ay governed ng COA DBM Joint Circular 2015-01. Sa circular na ito, kinikilala na ang confidential funds ay ginagamit para saan? Surveillance activities, intelligence gathering, informant payments. Dahil dito, cash transactions talaga lahat yan. So hindi porket may mga cash transactions o may movement ng funds, ibig sabihin, meron ng malversation o merong corruption na nangyayari. Hindi rin pwedeng sabihin, bakit nagastos yung pera in 11 days as alleged? Dahil ang spending, yung bilis ng paggastos, hindi naman automatic, ibig sabihin, illegal na. Confidential operations often require immediate payments to sources like informants. Ang mas mahalagang problema sa complaint ay hindi nito pinapakita kung saan napunta ang pera. May personal benefit pa na pumunta o nakuha ang Vice Presidente. Wala sa complaint allegations na tumanggap siya ng bahagi ng pera. Walang nakasaad na may asset bang nabili using that funds. May bank transfer ba papunta sa kanya. Ang reliance ng complaint, kung babasahin natin, mula sa mga COA audit findings. Audit observation memorandum, notice of suspension, notice of disallowance. Pero sa ilalim ng COA audit rules, ano ba yung audit observation memorandum? Preliminary observation lang ito. Ano yung notice of suspension? Pagkulang ang dokumento. Ano yung notice of disallowance? Administrative finding. Pero ito,
Madam
subject
Chair,
to appeal.
Madam Chair, point of order muna.
There's a point of order. Honorable Suntay, let's hear the point of order of the Honorable Abante.
Yung ba ang pinag-uusapan natin? Tatanong ko, yung ba pinag-uusapan natin?
This is about confidential fund.
Oo.
Yes, this is about confidential funds.
Pinag-uusapan natin kanina.
Madam Chair,
Kung
this is
tendre
regarding
lang,
confidential
Let's,
funds.
let's
Nagpapaliwanag
allow
pa
the
ako eh.
Honorable Abante to finish the point of order.
Ang pinag-uusapan natin kanina, kung yung office ng Secretary of Education, saka yung Vice President's office, impeachable offense ba yun?
Madam Chair,
Pinag-uusapan
Article 2,
yun. Dali
ng
lang,
impeachment complaint.
nagsasalita pa
Kindly
ako.
wait
Hindi pa
until he
naman, no?
finishes.
No. Binapaliwanag mo kung paano ginamit ang confidential fund. Hindi pa naman pinag-uusapan yan eh. Pangalawa, paliwanag. Dapat yan pinag-uusapan yan sa impeachment court. Hindi dito. Madam Chair, yun lang.
For the guidance of the Honorable Abante, there are allegations as to misuse of confidential fund in the office of the Department of Education with the Vice President as Secretary of Education. So, it is my humble submission that the manifestation of the Honorable Suntay is aligned to the deliberation on the second ground of the fourth impeachment complaint. The point of order is overruled.
Thank you very much, Madam
The Honorable
Chair.
Suntay may proceed.
And to my good friend, Congressman Abante, if I may continue,
You may. Thank you.
hindi ito automatic proof ng graph o malversation. Ito ay consistent sa sinabi ng Supreme Court sa Navales versus People at Gillian versus People, GR numbers 219, 598 at 220108, kung saan sinabi ng Korte na procedural irregularities on procurement violations do not automatically result in criminal liability or graft. Makikita rin, kagaya ng sinabi ng aking paboritong colleague, Congressman Joel Chua kanina, may nabanggit siya tungkol sa kay Madriaga, affidavit ni Madriaga. May tanong ko lang, nasaan ba si Madriaga? Di ba, nakakulong yata. So we are relying on an affidavit issued by an individual who is currently in prison. Now, sino ba si Madriaga? Meron ba siyang appointment kay BP Sara to prove that he is an employee or an authorized person? Para ma-direct na naman natin yung linkage nung dalawa. Kasi if we rely heavily dun sa affidavit niya, it should not come
Madam
from
Chair,
a polluted source.
point of
Madam
order.
Chair.
There's another point of order. Let's hear the Honorable Dilima.
Are we talking now here about the credibility of a prospective witness in these proceedings? We're not yet at the evidentiary stage. We're not yet supposed to judge whether or not Mr. Madriaga is credible. So it is premature and it tries to divert the matter now. We're just talking here about the confidential funds and also about the concurrent capacity of the Commission of Offenses of the Vice President in her concurrent capacity as Secretary of Education. So
Madam
let's
Chair.
not talk yet about whether or not worthy, whether or not credible, whether or not totoo yung sinasabi ni Madriaga. We have yet to hear from him, aside from this sworn testimony, or sworn affidavit. So, that's out of order, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair,
The Honorable Suntay.
it is necessary to raise this because his affidavit is attached to the complaint and it is relied on heavily. Yun lang ang point ko.
Nevertheless, the Honorable
But-
Suntay, please be reminded that we are only at the stage of the sufficiency in substance. We are not discussing yet the weight of the evidence attached.
Yes, I know, Madam Chair. I
The
just
point
want
of
to make
order
that
is sustained.
clarification.
Madam Chair,
Thank you very much, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair, just a quick rebuttal.
The Honorable Chua.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, I agree with the...
The Honorable Chua is reminded to refrain from further commenting to the manifestation which has been the subject matter of the point of order of the Honorable Dilima.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, this is just a recital of facts. By the reading of the affidavit itself, titignan po natin kung meron nga po talagang offense charge. At maliwanag naman po dito, meron pong perang nilabas, as cited in paragraph 123 of the complaint. And ito pong 125 million na binabanggit dito, sinabi rin po sa paragraph 125 ay pinasa sa kay certain Dante La Chica. At dito rin po sa paragraph, dito rin po sa complaint na to, maliwanag sa paragraph 134 na sinasabi po ni Madriaga na siya po yung kumuha nitong pera at dineliver niya. So meron pong money trail na hinahanap po tayo. Now, bakit po nakunik ang Vice President? Kasi po, sinasabi rin po dito sa paragraph 150, sinasabi po dito na yung pong pagpapasa ng pera from the SDO to another na wala naman pong koneksyon ay upon the instruction of the Vice President. Now, dito rin po sa ating affidavit, nakalagay rin po dito at dinefine din po dito kung ano po ang definition o element ng graft and corruption. Nakalagay po yan sa paragraph 146. RA number 3019, paragraph 3A, penalizes public officers who persuade, induce, or influence another public officer to perform an act constituting a violation of rules and regulation. definitely, yung pagpupunta po ng pera from one person other than the SDO is a violation of rules and regulation. Thank you po.
Madam Chair, a
Thank
quick
you.
reply.
Before I call the Honorable Sontay, let me finish first with the list. The Honorable Nasal and then the Honorable Acosta.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Madam Chair, Article 2 likewise fails to meet the constitutional threshold of sufficiency in substance. The issues raised, particularly those concerning confidential funds, under Joint Circular number 2015-01, audit observation memoranda and notices of disallowance were substantially discussed during prior deliberations. Nung in-apply ng committee yung standards na ito during the PBBM proceedings, sinabi nun na ang preliminary audit findings are not final adjudications of liability. Audit observation memoranda and notices of disallowance remain appealable and subject to administrative and judicial review. Kaya standing alone, kitang-kita na these do not establish graft malversation or betrayal of public trust. Rapid liquidation by itself is not per se unlawful. Cash handling is intrinsic to the nature of confidential and intelligence funds. What must be pleaded are ultimate facts of unlawful conversion, personal appropriation, manifest bad faith, or a specific amount personally received by the respondent. Pag binasa yung complaint, wala naman naka-allege dito na essential elements. Puro inferences lang ang meron. Inference is not an ultimate fact. For these reasons, Article 2 likewise fails the insufficiency in substance threshold. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Next is the Honorable Acosta.
Madam Chair, while I agree to the Congressman Nazal and Congressman Bong Suntay that COA findings are not criminal judgment but are highly relevant in this discussion on whether or not pleaded facts in this fourth complaint shows an accountability breach. Our test here today for the members is whether the complaint, the fourth complaint, pleads objective audit red flags, which is the ultimate facts recited, supporting betrayal of public trust and that of graft and corruption, Madam Chair. My second question, Madam Chair, is for the two gentlemen who, Pastor Abante and Congressman Ortega. In their pleading, Madam Chair, one of the evidentiary value is JC number 2015-01, and in relation to that, notice of disallowance addressed to the VP dated August 8, 2024. My question, Madam Chair, is whether or not Annex G2 or that notice of disallowance August 8, 2024 have already attained finality.
Would you like to comment, Honorable Abante?
What is
He's
again the
asking about the status of the notice of disallowance. I believe this is the 73 million of the Department of Education.
I think, Madam Chair, that the COA would have more of the right to answer that than us, no, because they're the ones that actually gave, the
Honorable
disallowance.
Acosta,
Thank you, Madam Chair. So,
are you done?
Madam Chair, can I would be able just answer the manifestation of Congressman Nazal?
Before I call you Honorable Abante, allow the chair to call first the Honorable Suntay.
Thank you. Just a quick reply to the statement made by our good friend, Rep. Joel Chua. Yung nabanggit niyang pera that went to La Chica and passed hands, that shows movement of funds. It is not a proof of illegality of use or personal appropriations of the said funds. In fact, the VP is a high-ranking official, and she relies heavily, and as well as other officials, on her subordinates, accountants, unless it can be shown and can be proved that she personally fabricated the receipts, she received the money, or she had gain from those funds, then I believe that the allegation is not substantial. Thank you, Madam Chair.
Madam Chair. Madam Chair.
Before I bring back to you the floor, Honorable Abante, since you are the endorser, let me finish first the other congs. The Honorable Ridon is recognized.
I think most of the matter has already been discussed yesterday. We are basically just reprosecuting the points that had already been raised yesterday. Even the defenses of Vice President had already been stated yesterday, which is why the endorsers and the other congressmen are also reprosecuting the points, no? But I think, Madam Chair, even if we remove the Madriaga affidavit, the basis of the notice of disallowance, which remains pending before the Commission and Bank, can actually stand on its own as proof of the accountability of the Vice President in the misuse of confidential funds, no? So, wag na ho natin pag-usapan muna yung laman po ng paano ho yung from La Chica to Madriaga. Kahit tanggalin po natin yon, Madam Chair, titindig po yung usapin po ng malversation. Kahapon, sinagot na rin naman ho natin, hindi ho requirement sa malversation, sa different types of malversation, yung pong personal benefit. Totoo, meron po nga malversation that requires personal benefit. Pero in technical malversation, hindi ho depensa. Yung meron ho kayong personal benefit. The fact na meron hong maling paggamit doon po sa itinakda ng paggamit po ng pondo, technical malversation na po yun. May kaso na pong kriminal yun. At ano ho ba yung pinag-uusapan natin sa misuse of confidential funds? Ang pinag-uusapan ho natin sa misuse of confidential funds, tama ba na ginagamit po for what? For team building activities, yung pong confidential funds eh. Hindi ba? And finally, as an additional and new point, Madam Chair, one of the defenses relating to Madriaga, which is being, I think, stated today by the Office of the Vice President, is that Mr. Madriaga was never an employee of the Office of the Vice President. But I think the point needs to be made that in different parts of the bureaucracy, for example, yung mga contracts of service, yung pong mga job orders, hindi naman ho yan technically empleyado ng mga opisina. Hindi ho ba? So I don't think that stands as the defense that Mr. Madriaga is actually not an employee of any of the offices of the Office of the Vice President or when she was Secretary of the Department of Education. And finally, as a final point, yung pong mga confidential agents, which is basically, I think, who Madriaga is. Yung mga confidential agents po ba are treated actually as employees of offices that actually implement confidential funds? I don't think so. So, this particular new development, which the Vice President is actually submitting as a defense on Madriaga, would not hold water, Madam Chair.
Thank you, Honorable Ridon. Before we proceed, we would like to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Ana York P. Bondoc from the 4th District of Pampanga. We acknowledge as well the presence of the Honorable Sarah Jane I. Ilago from Gabriela Party List. And finally, we acknowledge the presence of the Honorable Congresswoman Rene Ann Lourdes Matibag from the 1st District of Laguna. Thank you for coming. To conclude our deliberation on the second round, I wish to express the significance of all your arguments, but let me manifest my observation as well that despite our resolve to adopt already our deliberation in the sufficiency in substance of the third impeachment complaint with respect to similar grounds, it appears that we are raising the same arguments and manifestations.
Madam Chair.
I understand that we value all your manifestations, but please allow the chair to continue on encouraging you to raise new arguments instead.